Большое спасибо. Для меня это очень большая честь быть на этой сцене сегодня. И мы уже видим, что эта страна имеет очень многое предложить. И мы знаем, что наше путешествие станет еще более волнительным завтра. И я бы хотел еще раз приветствовать тех гурдов, которые здесь
fired up at all 4 life events.
И с каждого мероприятия For Life я получаю большой энергии, меня очень вдохновляют. Сегодня я решил, что я буду соревноваться.
Why not? We're For Life distributors, we can do anything.
Мы все дистрибьюторы, мы можем сделать все, что угодно. И прямо сегодня я начну работать над этим. И Барбара, ты тоже, конечно же. Да, я согласна. Если он действительно задастся целью, он это сделает. Это то, что я очень люблю. Он поверил в For Life 14 лет назад, когда мы с ним я была очень скептически настроена, но он поверил в For Life. Он встретился с Дэвидом Бьянкой. Он приехал обратно, был очень взволнован.
I mean, this is a company
мы бы никогда не могли подумать, что мы встретимся с вами в Таиланде, что мы будем в ранге Платинум выйти в нашем тайме. И теперь у нас есть возможность иметь крепкое здоровье, счастливую семью. Но никто не знает, что в какой-то момент он весил 150 килограмм.
For time and success and financial freedom that we have now, we can go all over the world and meet all of these wonderful people and just be a part of For Life. And I am so grateful to this company and David and Bianca.
Очень благодарны компании Дэвиду и Бьянке. Спасибо.
Isn't it crazy?
Это ли не сумасшествие?
The amount of money someone will pay you to look like a fool? I'll do 20 more right now.
Вы выглядели таким вот сумасшедшим человеком.
We are willing to do what others are not willing to do, to have what others don't have. And tonight I want to talk about 3 very simple things. Jeff said it's a simple business. It is a simple business. It's not, however, an easy business. How many of you agree with that? It's simple if you don't quit. I'm really into software analogies, computer analogies. I talk about the buttons we have at the back of our brains, which is the greatest computer ever created. Right now, I want you to put your finger back here. Put your finger right here, okay? And I want you to click. You just click the don't quit button. From now on, you can't quit. It's not in your program anymore. You can't think about quitting. You can't talk about quitting. You can't whine and complain about anything. You can't gossip about other people because that's what is down that quitting road. Check again and make sure your quit button is pressed. Is it pressed? Have you made a decision not to quit? Because if you were to ask me today, Ray, what is the single most important, the one thing that is the key to your success and to the success of the other great platinums in the company, you know what I would tell you? I would tell you they reach back here and press don't quit. Not an option. Don't entertain it. Don't go there.
Никогда не отступайте, даже не думайте об этом, не допускайте мысли.
Won't quit.
Мы не бросим и не отступим.
Won't quit.
Я не отступлю.
I want to tell you a story
Я хочу рассказать вам
about when I was in the hospital.
О том, как я лежал в
And
больнице.
I was blessed to be able to receive
И для
a
меня это
liver
было
transplant.
благословением Бога. Я получил
Now, while I was getting ready for this liver transplant,
И когда я
people
ждал
were walking into my room,
этой
patients,
донорской печени,
other liver transplant patients.
ко мне в комнату заходили другие
And I asked
пациенты,
them,
которые ждали
well, when
донора.
is your transplant?
И они спрашивали
They
меня, когда
said,
же
oh,
к тебе
I already have it.
придет
I'm leaving tomorrow.
донорская печень.
And I said, well, you look great.
И
How long has it been?
один из
8
людей
days
сказал, что завтра
I said, 8
он уже
days ago, this
выписывается,
guy had
потому
a
что ему
liver
уже сделали
transplant.
пересадку печени.
And now he's walking out of the hospital.
И прошло
This is
всего
going to be
8 дней с
great.
момента его
I'm going to
операции.
get a liver transplant, and I'm going to do it in 4 or 5 days or even a week.
И я представил себе, что
But after my
примерно
transplant,
через неделю я
I
уже
had
буду
all
на ногах,
kinds of
в полном
complications.
здравии.
They wouldn't let me take transfer factor.
И вы
They
знаете,
had shut off
больницы
my immune system.
мне не позволяли
They had
принимать
pushed that button that
трансферы,
said immune system
потому что они
off
считали, что
so that
он
my
бы помешал
liver,
работе моей
my
иммунной
body
системы.
would not reject my liver.
И они
So I
запрещали
got
это делать,
every
чтобы
kind
мое
of
тело не
infection
отвергло
that
донорскую
you could
печень.
possibly think of. I was dying.
Я умер.
Pneumonia, MRSA
Пневмония.
1, 2. I think I got MRSA 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got every opportunistic infection you could think of.
И
My lungs were not, I wasn't
мое
breathing.
тело не
I was
могло
filling up with fluid
сопротивляться
and I was
болезням,
pumping my
и
lungs.
каждая инфекция, которая только возможна,
And I
она
started to
случилась.
get very, very tired.
И я
I
чувствовал
couldn't
себя
see
очень уставшим.
just the light at the end of the tunnel. I couldn't
И
see
я
a
даже
way
не
out.
мог видеть уже свет в
And I
конце
started to
туннеля.
think,
Я не мог думать о будущем.
I'm going to die in here.
И я уже пришел к такой мысли, что,
I'm gonna
наверное,
die.
здесь я умру.
Because this just doesn't look good. I would look up,
У меня нет
over to the
хорошего
side.
глаза.
and Barbara would be talking to the doctor.
И я смотрел в сторону, и
And
я
all
видел,
I
что
saw
Барбара
was-
разговаривает с докторами.
They're shaking their heads.
И я вижу, что
One
доктора
time, I heard a doctor say,
поворачивают голову.
Mrs. Muir, look,
И один из них
we've
сказал,
got to
миссис
face
Мюрер,
reality here.
посмотрите правде в
We
лицо.
don't know how he made it through last night,
Мы не знаем, как он
or
пережил
the night
прошлую
before,
ночь и
or
ночь
the
до
night
того.
before that.
И мы не
It could
знаем,
be any time.
каким образом он
My
пережил
sister, who
несколько
loves us
ночей.
and we love her very
И
much,
в любой момент будьте
was
подготовлены к тому,
shaking
что
Barbara
его
by the
станет.
shoulder and saying, you've got to come to face reality here,
И
that
сестра
he's going to die in
трясла
here,
ее за плечо и говорила,
because you're just in a
тебе
dream
необходимо
world,
посмотреть правду в
walking
лицо.
around, praying all the
Невозможно,
time,
что
and
его
thinking
станет.
everything's going to be fine, but everything's not going to be fine.
И ты, может быть, думаешь, что все будет
And I
хорошо,
was having a
но все не
conversation
будет хорошо.
with God and
Я
saying,
лежал и разговаривал
what
с
do you want me
Богом.
to do?
Что ты хочешь хочешь, чтобы я сделал?
What can I do? There's nothing I can do. I can't breathe on my own. I'm hooked up to respirators. I'm hooked up to stents and IVs. They're coming in just about at one point almost every 45 minutes to pump my lungs so that I can get any oxygen in me. My lungs started to atrophy, which they're not working on their own, and it wasn't a good situation. And I asked God, I said, what do you want me to do? What can I do? I don't have any power here. What do I need a miracle right now to ever walk out of this hospital? I need a miracle. I need something divine.
Мне нужно что-то необыкновенное. Единственное сообщение, которое я получил обратно, это: а что будешь делать ты?
I just told you, God, I can't do anything, including breathing.
Что я могу делать? Я даже не в
What do you mean, what am I going to do?
Что ты имеешь в виду, что ты сделаешь?
And I realized at that moment that God had put it on me.
Я понимаю, что
that He had said, walk out. Do you believe this? Can you live? Can you believe that you can live? Can you act on your belief? Can you have this kind of faith? And all the evidence did not point in that direction. All the evidence was accepted. There comes a time when people have to accept that you're going to die, and you're going to die in here. That's what everything said. But when I was confronted with that question, what are you going to do? And what that question was is, are you going to fight or are you going to quit? That's what it comes down to in our business all the time. Are you going to fight or are you going to quit? And I decided to fight. I told those nurses, I said, you better get me up to go for a walk. Now, this is ICU intensive care. You don't walk anywhere. You're in bed. You don't walk anywhere. You're done. They're wheeling people out, covered up, on the right, on the left. I'm looking, seeing them wheeling people out, and I'm going, this does not look good. But I knew I had to get up out of that bed. I knew I had to get up out of that bed. I knew I would die in that bed. So I said, get me up. You've got to take me for a walk. I want to go to the bathroom.
И я сказал медсестрам: вы ведите меня на прогулку, поднимите меня.
You're just a silly dreamer.
И они, скорее всего, подумали: ну ты просто глупый мечтатель. Но я сказал: поднимите меня, иначе я встану сам. И медсестры вышли, когда я поднялся с койки, я поставил ноги на пол. И, к сожалению, я упал. Сигнализация сработала, и в мою палату вбегают врачи. И все решили, что меня необходимо прикрепить к этой койке, поскольку я уже обязанность представлять себя. И всю ночь я лежал прикованный к койке. И Барбара очень расстроилась, она очень переживала за меня. Но я сказал: Барбара, сделай все, чтобы они сняли с меня эти ремни. И когда они снимут с меня эти ремни, я опять буду встать. Позовите мне сюда физиотерапевта. Если что-то в руководстве, меня отпустили с этой койки. Я хочу сидеть. И, наконец, врачи согласились. И, наверное, я был очень вежливым в процессе. И я думаю, что если вы врач или медсестра, вы не хотите иметь меня пациентом. Потому что я собираюсь выжить. Я собираюсь сделать все, чтобы выжить. Я не мог дышать, я не мог ходить, я не мог пройти тест респираторный.
И это продолжалось в протяжении месяцев. И вдруг я встаю, и я не могу нормально дышать. И это одна из самых страшных вещей, когда ты вдыхаешь, ты не чувствуешь кислорода в своих легких. Ты не можешь сделать даже несколько шагов. Если примерно в течение часа вы это выдержите, на следующий день вы делаете это снова и снова. И так прошла неделя.
We had my team. You know who my team was? My team was the oxygen tank over here, the nurse over here, Barbara was behind me with the wheelchair in case I fell down, and two large gentlemen had been strapped with these big straps. One was standing over here and one over here. So because I really couldn't support myself, and I walked, and I went from 2 steps to 5 steps to 10 steps to 20 steps, and they hated my guts in this hospital. They wanted me out of there, and I wanted to get out of there. After 2.5 weeks, we were walking out in the hall, in ICU, in intensive care, almost around the whole floor.
Я наконец-то смог ходить практически по всему этажу.
The 24th of a mile, just around the whole floor. You making faces at me. Says you can't do that.
Представьте, что целый этаж смотрит на меня с усмешкой, ты это не сможешь сделать.
And then I remember the doctors came in after 4 months, actually 5 months total, from when I first went in the hospital. In December, they walked in, and I'm laying there like a lab rat with all the students lined up behind the doctor. He's looking at my chart. I couldn't talk. Barbara loved that part. For most of my hospital stay, I couldn't talk. She really liked that. I had to write down everything I was saying. I had to whisper. And the doctor came in and he said, Mr. Mюрер, you've passed your breathing test. You're 36 hours and almost 24 unassisted with the respirator. We've got to see what we can do about getting Mr. Mюрер home for the holidays. I put my finger over that trach and I screamed at the top of my lungs like something from a horror movie. How about today?
Прижимаю шею пальцем и кричу:
I think I scared
а что если я пойду домой сегодня?
And he said,
и я действительно очень испугал врачей, но они поняли мой восторг, и они сказали: посмотрим, что мы можем сделать. И так я выхожу из госпиталя, но я даже не могу перешагнуть через бордюр. Я должен был идти только по очень ровной поверхности. И я не мог сделать шаг вверх или вниз. На протяжении многих месяцев я не мог сделать одно отжимание. Но я понял, что на митингах иногда нужно суметь отжаться на сцене, поэтому я это делаю во время таких мероприятий.
Remember that button. Remember today, and remember you press it. Because that fight or quit battle, that representation in your life, this is a simple business, but it's not easy. You can have the greatest life of your dreams. I grew up in the neighborhood with nothing. Nothing, we had nothing. They have Cheerios over here, Cheerios, breakfast cereal. No, Cheerios. It's a breakfast cereal. And we used to break up the boxes of Cheerios and put them in our sneakers when they would get holes in them to go play a little more basketball, American sports basketball. Because my sneakers would wear out on the bottom. And I couldn't just say my parents, go buy me a pair of sneakers. You can have the life of your dreams. You look at the way the Platinums live. We were flown over here by For Life,
Все мы благодарны компании For Life. Можем летать в бизнес-классе. Люди относятся к нам как к VIP. Мы получаем обслуживание высшего класса. Потому что в один момент мы приняли это решение. Мы задались вопросом, бросить или продолжать. И каждый из нас нажал эту кнопку.
Is a kind of a phrase that you've heard a lot. Think positive.
Очень часто вы слышите такую фразу. Думайте позитивно.
We already know that.
И, конечно же, вы немножко скептически думаете, но я это уже слышал.
I'm a Platinum International Diamond.
И вы знаете, я платиновый International Diamond. У
меня
нет никаких долгов. Я живу в прекрасном Хонде с видом на океан. Я смотрю на волны каждый день. И это прекрасное место. У нас есть прекрасный дом.
And we've been able to build through For Life a nice life for ourselves.
For Life дала нам великолепную жизнь.
I find think positive to not be so easy.
Думай позитивно.
I find it to be a daily battle. If you want to go to the next level,
если вы поднимаетесь на
следующий уровень, если вы хотите помочь кому-то подняться с колен, вам
необходимо это сделать. Может быть, вам представился очень сложный год.
Through that struggle of life, through that struggle of building your business. They need to see that. We balance each other up. But our environment, our culture, who we are, what we teach is think positive. Because that's a choice. And then it goes back to quit or fight. Allow negative thoughts or fight and think positive. I don't know a networker. I mean, maybe Platinum, when you get to a certain point, you kind of know that you can do this business. You know the business works. But doesn't it seem sometimes? Do you ever have this thought? Is anybody ever going to say yes to me again? Is anybody ever going to say, yeah, I want to join and build a big business? Is anybody ever going to buy another bottle of transfer? Is all this just kind of made up? Yeah! Let's make up some more. Let's make up all the way to Platinum for everybody in this room. Is there anybody in this room that can see that for the Platinum? Anybody can see. You can see yourself going to Platinum. Okay. Good, because that leads us to button number 2. That's a platinum colored button right next to don't quit. Put your finger on it now, please. Right here, middle of your head. This is a platinum colored button. Come on. Okay? Think positive. And every time you think, oh, the products are so expensive, or someone tells you that, or every time you think, people don't like network marketing, or every time you think, am I fooling myself with these people? I don't really feel like part of them. I didn't feel like part of them. The only reason I kept coming back here is because they overlooked who I was. They said, keep coming back. Maybe you'll get it someday. And I did. Because you can't tell what's inside them. You just can't tell by the way someone looks, even by the way they act, even by how confident you think they are. You can't tell how much they're willing to fight or when they're going to quit. You can't tell how they're going to fight that battle in their mind, or whether they're going to allow the negative or stick with the positive. You just can't tell. That's something that we all make a personal decision about. But if you decide today
Но сегодня вы нажали кнопку «Не отступать». Это уже не вариант для вас. Барбара и я в молодые годы.
And Barb was a handful when she was younger. No, I'm kidding.
И когда Барбара, он делал шутку,
I was an emotional wreck. In the U.S., we talk about people who are emotionally handicapped. That was me.
И позвольте мне сказать вам, в юности я был эмоционально очень сложным человеком.
Maybe that was a don't quit fight too.
Может
But she
быть,
said yes. But we struggled in the beginning of our marriage.
и в
And
начале
we went there and we went to a counselor.
совместной жизни мы очень
Anybody ever been to a counselor?
бедно жили и
Matt?
боролись за
We
свои
went to a counselor, and that counselor said, and I said, if you do this and
Мы пришли к советнику, и он
and he
сказал
said,
нам,
listen,
если вы сделаете
you have to
это,
make a decision right now. You guys don't have a prayer. If you don't take this divorce thing off the table right now, I'm telling you right now, you've been doing this a long time, you don't have a prayer. And we said, okay.
и мы сказали, хорошо,
And we decided not to quit.
и мы решили не отступать.
31 years later,
Через 31 год мы все еще женаты,
because we chose.
потому что мы решили, что мы не отступим.
So, two very simple concepts.
Итак, две очень простые концепции. Не отступать,
Fight for your dream.
бороться за свою
Fight
мечту,
for your business.
бороться за свой
Fight
бизнес,
for your family.
бороться за свою семью,
Don't quit.
не
Fight
бросать,
for your dream.
бороться,
Fight for your business. Fight for your
бороться за
business.
бизнес, за мечту.
Don't allow negative, positive,
Не
always think
позволяйте
positive.
негативным мыслям
Do battle in your
думайте
mind.
только
The
позитивно.
warfare is in your mind. The business is between your
Видите все
ears.
негативное из ваших мыслей.
The self-talk. The
Разговаривайте сам с
self-talk, what
собой.
we tell ourselves. I did a talk years ago at
Вопрос
convention,
настроя, как
and
вы
I
сами
said
себя
all networkers
настраиваете.
have this little man
И кто-то на
standing on their
конвенции
shoulder.
когда-то сказал,
And I
на плече
called him
каждого
the
сетевика есть
stupid
маленький
little man.
человечек.
And this little man talks in your ear.
И этот маленький
And
человечек
he
постоянно
says, when you
нашептывает
go
вам
up there and you
что-то.
say, I'm going to call so-and-so, I'm going to talk and try and sponsor this person.
И вы
And the little
думаете,
man
я
says,
должен позвонить
you're not
этому
any good at
человеку, я
this.
должен спортивно
Nobody's ever going to say yes to
спонсировать
you.
его, привлечь его в
And you
бизнес. Но
say,
этот
I'm going to
маленький
be
человечек
and
на
then
вашем
you
плече
feel at a
продолжает вам
meeting
нашептывать.
inspired.
Ты этого не
Like I
сделаешь.
felt inspired by Steve
Но вы должны
run a
продолжать
triathlon
говорить себе.
after I get new
Полон
knees.
вдохновения. Я вдохновлен Стивом или
But you say, I'm going to do it.
Вы
And
должны
you walk
сказать
out,
себе, я это
and one
смогу
person says no to
сделать.
you,
И если кто-то говорит
and
вам,
the stupid little
нет, вы это не
man
сможете сделать,
says,
может быть, этот маленький
see,
глупый человечек у вас на плече,
see,
он
you're not interested in
нашептывает вам
this.
что-то в ухо.
You can't do this.
Вы просто должны
And I
отключиться
say,
от этого.
You turn to that stupid little man and you say, shut up,
Может быть,
stupid little man.
посмотрите на этого
You're not going
маленького
to steal my
человечка и
dream.
скажите ему,
And I'm not
заткнись уже.
listening to you anymore.
Я тебя не буду слушать.
And that's what thinking positive.
И это именно то, что называется позитивное мышление.
The third thing I want to talk to you about
И еще одна вещь, о которой я хочу
is
рассказать
being
вам.
teachable.
Вы должны
When I first
обладать
came to this
умением
business,
учиться.
I had a series of low-paying, terrible jobs. Jobs that I was miserable going to every day. I was like, whatever I do in my life,
И я уже
I
думаю,
can't do this job
все, что я делаю в
because
своей
it's
жизни,
that
все это неудачно, и
That's how much
я
I
просто
hated
не
my
могу
job.
заниматься такой работой.
And then one time I got a job
Однажды
in
я
a
получила
corporation
работу в
selling
корпорации,
long-distance service.
и я продавал
And this company started to invest and teach me about communication.
И эта компания
I spent
научила
about
меня
3 to 5 years
коммуникациям,
there.
тому, как нужно
And got an
общаться.
education that I had never had
Таким образом,
in
я получил
business,
такое образование,
and in
которого я никогда
communication,
не имел.
and in sales, in marketing.
Таким образом, я научился маркетингу, пользоваться именно этим
And
обучением.
I looked at everybody in network marketing, And I said, well,
И когда я
these
пришел
are
в
like
сетевой
housewives
маркетинг,
and just really
в
nice
основном
people.
там принимали участие
But
домохозяйки.
sales training. Surely I'm going to rip this thing up.
И я подумал,
Surely I'm going to be one of
естественно, если
the
в таком
highest
бизнесе
paid
только
distributors
домохозяйки, я стану
the
очень
company has ever
успешным.
seen. But that didn't happen.
И я думал, что
What happened when I
я
was
стану
selling my
лучшим
face?
в бизнесе, но, к сожалению, этого не
Because
произошло.
I found out
И потом я
it's
понял,
not presentation skills
что
that make you a
самое
great man.
главное это не ваши навыки в проведении
It's
презентации,
not knowledge
это даже
about
не
transfer
знание о
factors in our
трансфер-факторе.
products that make you a great man.
То, что делает вас успешным в
It's
сетевом
not your
маркетинге,
personal
это не знание,
image,
например,
or your
о продукте.
likability, or your charisma that makes you a great networker.
Ваша харизма делает вас хорошим
When
сетевым.
it comes down to the true test of the great network,
Когда
the
вы
people on
видите
stage, the people who make the money, the
профпригодность
people that get the
сетевого
great
маркетинга,
recognition, it comes down to three things.
все сводится к трем
Don't
вещам. Не
Don't
отступать,
quit.
не отступать, не забывайте про эту кнопку.
Positive thinking.
Позитивное
Don't
мышление.
allow, listen to me.
Послушайте,
Listen to me.
послушайте.
Negative thoughts are too
Негативные
expensive.
мысли, они очень дорого стоят.
Take a $100 bill or $500 bill, whatever amount of money is important to you,
Или такую
$1,000.
сумму денег, которая
Take
вам важна.
$1,000
Возьмите
in
1000
your currency.
долларов.
And whenever you have a negative thought that kind of latches on, and you start to have a little pity party, and you know, because you've been around for life, you've been around your dream. Somebody's planted seed in your life. Seed in your life that needs to be watered,
Погрузитесь в свою мечту, в
fertilized,
вашу будущую
and
жизнь.
that negative thought will choke the seed. That negative thought will kill your seed, and it costs you money.
Потому что
So
она
just
очень дорого
every time you get
обходится.
that negative thought and you start dancing with it, oh, maybe the products are too expensive.
Как только у вас появляется
Why
негативная
don't we
мысль, начните с
have
ней
this
танцевать.
product?
У нас очень дорогой
Just
продукт.
take $1,000 and burn it.
Возьмите
because it
1000
costs
долларов и
you
просто
money.
сожгите ее.
And the final thing, as I said, is be teachable. When I
Еще
came
одна
here,
вещь.
I
Вы
didn't
должны уметь
really
обучаться.
understand this business. I fell on my face
Необходимо понимать
for
этот
years.
бизнес.
I fell on my face for years.
Я был на дне жизни в течение многих и многих лет.
I got hurt. I was too thin-skinned. I was concerned
У
about what
меня не
people
было
thought
достаточно
about
толстой
me.
кожи, чтобы
I
воспринимать
needed a
критику.
pat on the back, so too
Я
much,
не был
too much.
удачливым и успешным.
It's okay to want
Я слушал
recognition, to
негативные
work for
мысли слишком
recognition.
много.
That's good. But it's not okay to need it all the time.
Конечно, всем нравится признание их заслуг.
Teachable.
Нам не нужно
We tell that to our people, right?
постоянно.
Don't we?
Нам
You
нужно
have to be
уметь быть
teachable.
обучаемыми.
What are we looking for? Desire. Well, I have that desire. The desire to do something. I have a personal desire. And we don't care what they look like. Right? We don't care. You see that desire. I have that desire. And then you want that work ethic, right? That's that discipline. That's what I had to find.
Моя проблема была в
Making
дисциплинированности.
myself do the work
Я должен был заставлять себя работать
every day.
каждый
Making
день.
myself talk to people.
Я должен был
When you
заставить
boil it
себя
down,
научиться разговаривать с
that's
людьми
why we
каждый
get made a
день.
lot of money. To talk to people. We create a viral,
Разговоры с людьми привели
word of
меня к
mouth
успеху.
network, worldwide network, based on high
Именно
trust
базируясь на
relationships.
общении с людьми, мы сумели
Now,
построить
our product
глобальную сеть, которая работает во многих странах мира.
build that high trust.
Продукты
There's a
трансфер
value
они сумели
proposition
построить
with transfer factor
мире.
products that is very high. We get to participate in it. We get to be part of this worldwide brand
Итак, мы стали частью этого
that is just,
мирового
even though we're a large
бренда.
company, 43rd largest company, even though we're just, it's this, 10 years, this, 15 years.
И только подумайте о нашем росте на протяжении 10-15 лет. Это просто великолепные результаты. Не бросайте. Думайте позитивно. И обязательно умейте обучаться.
I was forced to look at another way because my way wasn't working. I was like, talk people into stuff, convince them, and you gotta message your molecules.
Таким образом, я должен был изменить свое отношение к жизни.
Persuasion. That's what I was into. I'll persuade them. I'll bring them in. I'll talk them into it. I'll bring them into the business, right? The problem is when you talk somebody into it and it's not based on their dream, on their inner desire, they are on your back, right? And so you got one person on your back, and then you sponsor another one, you got another person on your back. And now what happens? Your walk starts to get really hard because you're carrying other people. We need to teach them to center, to focus on their dream, to connect them with their dream, to show them how the vision of For Life, the vision of Transformation can cover all the dreams in their lives, the dreams of their families for good education, the dreams to travel, all the dreams of their lives. Our For Life business can cover.
Может быть, им нужна финансовая стабильность.
So I fell on my face.
Итак, я снова упал, и мне нужно было начинать заново. Моя система не
работает.
Но прекрасная вещь сетевого маркетинга. Если вы лидер вашего компании, неважно, в каком вы бизнесе были до этого, в сетевом маркетинге у вас есть доступ к людям. В корпоративной Америке у вас нет прямого общения с руководством. В сетевом маркетинге вы можете, например, обратиться к Стиву непосредственно лично. И вот вы в сетевом маркетинге, вы уже, может быть, бросили свою работу, потому что вы зарабатываете достаточно, чтобы и вы уже думаете, что вы понимаете этот бизнес, но вы его все еще не понимаете на 100%. И кто-то мне задал вопрос, знаешь ли ты, как работает сетевой? И в тот момент, когда ко мне подошел человек, который делал 250 тысяч в год.
That was insane. My goal was 100,000 US a year, 10,000 a month.
В тот момент моя мечта была $10 тысяч в месяц.
And these guys were making money, and I got to work with them. They would work with
А те люди, которые ко мне подошли, их доход был 250 тысяч. Я подумала, это просто сумасшествие.
They were just friendly. They were on fire. They were having fun. I never had fun.
Бизнес. Они занимаются этим с задором.
These guys were having fun every day, and they were
эти люди, они с удовольствием
They realized that when they were together, they were so much stronger. Sometimes I would think to myself, why are you guys wasting time working together on these three-way calls and four-way calls, and then 5 of you talking on a conference line? Why don't you just each go talk to separate people and just go do it?
Их система заключалась в том, что они делали конференц-звонки на 3, 4, 5 людей.
Because I was a loner.
Но я подумал, каким же образом это работает. Может быть, каждый из них, делая звонки индивидуально, мог бы сделать гораздо больше инком, но на самом деле это не работает. В этом и состоит моя ошибка. Я работал с людьми один. Я думал, что хорошо, может быть, этот человек со мной не согласен. Я лучше заниматься еще с одним человеком. Но на самом деле очень важно, чтобы это были конференции, чтобы в них принимало участие больше, чем просто 2 собеседника. И сегодня те люди, которые работают по системе 1 на 1, их чеки не растут, их чеки очень маленькие. Как работники сетевого маркетинга, как работники прямых продаж, как профессионалы, мы имеем благословение находиться в такой компании. Здесь очень важна комбинация. Это продукт, технология, честность и лидерство. Я не говорю о фасаде, на самом деле каждый человек должен быть порядочным. Компенсационный план очень хорошо просчитан, к нам возвращается очень много денег. Компания в состоянии открывать международные рынки и поддерживать своих дистрибьюторов. И дистрибьюторы нашей компании, они открыты к служению и помощи людям. Что мы можем сделать, чтобы помочь вам? Я чувствую, что я действительно благословлен быть в такой компании. Некоторые люди сегодня не принимают участие в чем-то. И я заметил, что когда я попросил людей поднять руки, он намерен не стать платиновым, я заметил, что не каждый из вас поднял руку. В середине вашей головы, которая называется позитивное мышление. Это то же самое, что платиновая кнопка. Может быть, вы просто недостаточно большой.
I get a person that moves about, 5,000 points here, and maybe I can move 5,000 points here. And I can get to international. I can get to gold. Yeah, I can get to gold. Maybe by convention, I gotta get some people, some good leaders. I gotta get, but I can get to gold. I think I can get to gold. It's just not big enough. It's not big enough.
Если вы так думаете, значит это ваша кнопка в середине, недостаточно большая.
And I went in there and I had Priscilla in here from walking a lot on this trip. And I said, all my muscles are tight. I need you to do firm. I need you to do firm because I need to stretch it. This morning, she did firm. It felt great while she was doing it. This morning I woke up like this. Because in order to stretch, you gotta have some pain. In order to stretch, you gotta have some pain. So shoot for platinum. Because let me tell you something. If you can see international diamond, I know everyone in this room can see international diamond. You're already international diamond, right? If you can see gold international diamond, if you work towards gold international diamond, you will fly by gold international diamond. Remember, my dream, my goal was 10,000 a month. Because I figured 10,000 a month I could have a good life. I could send my kids to private school, I could drive a nice car, I could have a nice house, I could get out of debt, and then I knew anything over 10,000 a month, I could save and become an investor. I could invest and save. So that was my dream. And I'll tell you something, when you pursue your dream, if you're running, when you hit it, you don't stop right in your dream, you keep going. So the things you have to achieve to get to your dream, all between your ears, your heart's already here, you're here, you're in a beautiful resort in Thailand. The company thought enough of you, they see your potential. The company, For Life Steve, sees you. Think positive. Don't go over here, just don't go. Don't go into that neighborhood. Stay over here. And if you get in trouble, if you just get in trouble, you're thinking, you know, when you're thinking, say, I'm not thinking like a platinum right now. You know what you do? And it took me a long time to learn this. You pick up the telephone.
И поверьте
You
мне,
pick
это
up
было
the
своем опыте,
telephone
когда вы
and you
начинаете
say,
избавиться
sponsor,
от негативных мыслей,
you believe in my dream. You believe in me.
начинаете обзванивать.
Tell me that now. Speak into my life because I have stinking thinking right now. Speak it. And you open yourself up. Don't defend negative stuff.
Не пытайтесь
Don't get in a bad
защищать
place and stay
негативные
there.
мысли.
Let the team speak to you. Don't miss
Давайте
events.
говорить с вами.
One meeting. I like to say this all the time. One single meeting can change your life and make you
Один
proud.
семинар,
One
всего
meeting.
одно занятие может
What's the
изменить
problem?
целую жизнь.
You don't know which one.
И вы не знаете,
So you have to
какое
make it
именно.
up.
Поэтому вы должны ходить на каждое мероприятие.
Be teachable.
Обязательно.
Until I got a chance to work with those pros, and I saw they were just lighter than me. They were having fun. They were just lighter. They were like, we get it. We're looking for the people who are looking for us. We're looking for fellow dreamers. All of us network marketers are a little different. We're a little odd. We think we can be millionaires. Doesn't matter what our background is. Doesn't matter where we grew up. We think we can make it big. We think we can have organizations in the hundreds of thousands. That's what we think. And we don't care what you think. And we're going to do it. And that's what makes us unique. Be proud to be a networker. It's the other ones out there that don't get it that are the ones with a problem. Stop apologizing for network marketing. If you talk to a very successful business person who looks down on network marketing, you know what? You practice it. You look them right in the eye and you say, ha ha ha
Вы должны просто посмеяться над ним.
Leslie, we done. Where's your paper there? How are we doing with time? Okay.
Если
So,
будем ли мы еще в рамке
don't
мероприятия?
quit. That's not easy. And it's actually not as simple as you think.
Итак, никогда не отступайте. Я понимаю,
Because
что это
we quit in little
непросто.
ways, right?
Иногда
Dance of a
негативные
thousand
мысли закрадываются к нам в голову.
Thoughts. Thoughts. Thoughts.
И эти
Thoughts
мысли
have
продолжают
power.
тянуть нас.
We have not been trained as children to think the way we need to think to get to Platinum International Diamond.
Конечно, когда
We're getting trained here
мы не
to do
учили,
that.
как нужно мысли для того, чтобы
We're
достичь рамки.
retraining our minds to think that.
Нам необходимо натренировать
Well,
наши
just saying I can do it and I won't quit till I do. Positive thinking.
И каким образом
Especially the
необходимо
gossip.
позитивное мышление.
Gossip is
Никогда
like
не
a poison
сплетничать.
snake bite.
Сплетни – это
Ah,
яд.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I know, they're international diamond, but
Да, я знаю,
Yeah.
International,
the way they,
я в это верю.
gossip.
Это
Poison.
сплетни, это яд.
Poison. Take out $1,000, flush it down the toilet, because it cost you money.
И просто смойте их в унитаз.
Teachability. Teachability.
Обязательно
You
умейте
might
учиться.
think you know how to do the business.
Вы думаете, что
You know how to do
умеете
this.
заниматься бизнесом.
To a large degree, generally, I thought I did. I was in the business for 5 or 10
Я
years.
думала, что я умею заниматься
Closer to
бизнесом.
10 years. And I was like, yeah, you get some people, sell some products, some of them will do it.
И
I
на
didn't
протяжении
understand.
10 дней я думала, да,
I didn't
мне нужен
understand.
продукт, я
Now I'm in
буду
awe
продавать, и тогда у
of
меня
the
будут
idea
деньги.
that what I say when I leave this room, one thing I say, can change the world.
Но на самом деле всего одна
Can
вещь
start a
может
ripple across the ocean and
изменить.
turn into hundreds of thousands of people. Can
И
impact
эта мысль
world
может
health.
пролететь через весь
Can
океан
impact
и
people's
прийти в
lives.
дома десятков тысяч людей по
Can
всему
take people and move them from poverty. Families, husbands, wives, fighting about money.
Возможно,
Can
лучше жизни
change all
всему
that.
миру.
Because I chose to open up my mouth. Because I chose to say something.
Сделал выбор, открыть мой рот и поделиться информацией с
Simple,
другими.
simple,
Смотрите, как это
simple,
просто.
Imagine
Это очень
what
простая
kind of leaders we would
мысль.
be if we practiced it.
Просто
every day.
практикуйтесь каждый
Every
день.
day.
Каждый
We
день в нашем
practice.
бизнесе практикуйтесь.
our distributors see in us, by our actions, by our speech, by our words, our distributors see in us, this guy is on fire. She is totally committed. They would never quit. They are on fire. That's somebody to follow. I'm with you because you're courageous. When you take quitting off the table, you are courageous. People want to follow somebody who's courageous. You know what? People even want to follow somebody who just speaks they're courageous and maybe not be that courageous. Just a crazy person that says, come on, let's go! And they're really, what am I doing? That's what happened to me. I was like, what am I doing? You're in a business about communication skills? You? People don't even like you, Ray. How could you be in this business? If we decide to never quit and live like that, and teach like that, and build like that, if we decide to think positive, to exude positive, that's not my personality. I'm kind of like this, I think in reality, I kind of think of both sides. Well, here's the downside, and then, and then here's the upside, and then balance it out. That's dangerous in this business. Yes, yes, yes. Next. If we live like that, if we be that kind of a leader, positive all the time. You know what my distributors know when they call me up? You know, every distributor call you up and say, how you doing? And you know that distributor's down. Right? You just know by the phone call. That distributor's down a little bit right now. Are you going to bite? Are you going to listen? You know what I say? And this is why you get a lot less negative calls from distributors. If you say this. Yeah, oh yeah, I see. Oh. Let's call someone together. Let's call someone together. Right now? Right now. See, that's who I am. See, that's what I do. See, that's what I teach. See, I'll be here today. I'll be here tomorrow. I'll be here next week. I'll be here next month. You can count on me. Because this is what I do. Let's call somebody. You mean right now? Yes, right now. Let's call someone. And where do I put that distributor right at that moment? Quit. Negative? Positive. I call them out. You still have a dream, don't you? You still want to make money doing this, don't you? Let's call somebody right now. Find the person in your upline who exudes, who shows those kinds of qualities. Be like them. Because everyone in the world is attracted to those qualities. Even the intellectuals that don't understand it. Even the doctors that are a little more formal. It's okay. It's okay. There's an attraction. There's an attraction to just never quit it. Just taking it off the table. The universe develops a crack. It busts wide open and you can walk through it. You can walk through it. You can be platinum. You can be the leader everybody else admires. You can do that. It's learned. It's not talent, although you will become talented. It's not a gift, it's learned. You learn. How do you learn? By coming to every event, by listening, by taking notes, by studying, by being willing to change, by being willing to become the kind of person that walks on the stage to platinum. That's the person I want to become. Tell me what I have to do to get there. I'm telling you tonight. I'm telling you tonight what you have to do. I'm telling you what you have to do. Never quit, take it off the table. Always have positive thoughts and do battle between your ears. Do battle. Do battle. The don't quit button is pressed. The positive platinum button is pressed.
Нажмите позитивную кнопку платины.
I'm looking at that.
Я смотрю на
I'm looking at how many people are going to international convention.
Кто из вас собирается на международную
International convention. That's not enough.
Пока не
Yeah,
достаточно.
that's better.
Так, сейчас
That's
уже
better.
лучше.
Listen, convention changed my life. My sponsor had to give me half the money to go to convention because I was like, I can't even afford to pay my rent. How am I going to go to convention? And he said, you come up with this and I'll do the rest. And I did it. And we went out there and the stage and the set, really nice, everything was nice. But you know what it was? He took me by the arm. He said, come here, come here, come here. He said, this is Pat. He said, sit down over here. And I said, okay, I wasn't that comfortable with this. He said, sit down over here. And I said, hi, Patty. I knew Patty from phone calls. I knew she was making about $17,000 a month. And she was an older lady, sweet, but I was always scratching my head going, how's this lady making $17,000 a month? I just cannot figure this out. And I got to sit down and meet Patty and talk to her. And I said, wow, regular person. No Superman. Just regular person. He said, come on over here, come on over here. Meet John. And he took me around and I met 12, 13, 14 people. And see, because I thought networkers, it was somebody else. But it wasn't me. Because it was something I didn't have. You understand? That's what I thought. Yeah. Presidential. International. Yeah, you can do that.
Я подумала, да, наверное, я тоже смогу этого достичь.
Gold. This is the guys on the stage. The really good-looking guys. You know, the guys with the real nice suits. I didn't have a nice suit. That's who that was. I didn't see myself as them.
Я себя еще не видел в дорогом
But I kept
костюме.
coming back. I kept showing up for meetings. One time, I took a Greyhound bus from New York City to Richardson, Texas, Dallas, Texas. Because I talked to somebody on the phone, and he made me feel good. He said, you know, you could do this, Ray. You sound like somebody we really want to talk to down here. You should come down for the meeting. I didn't have a suit. I had this suit that was ridiculous. It was for a guy who's 6'4". I rolled up the sleeve. I got on that Greyhound bus. I had just enough money I had to get there and back. And I was going down and I was going, what are you doing? You are crazy. Why are you doing this? What are you doing? Because the power of my dream, the power to change my life was so strong that I would do anything. I would do anything. And I went to that meeting. It took years even after that for me to be successful. But the life I have now, the life we have now, things we're able to do for our children, the things we're able to do for others. One time, years ago, we were sitting down with our pastor, and we were bankrupt. We had nothing. Barb had gotten in a car accident. That was, she just walked away from it, but it was very scary, totaled out the car. We didn't even have a car. And we were sitting with our pastor at church. And he said, write everything down, and we'll see what we can do to help you. And I wrote everything down, and he looks up, and he said, Ray? And I said to him, I said, well, what about giving? I don't know why I said that. But I said it. And he looked at me with a lot of love in his eyes. And he said, Ray, problem here is,
насчет того, что мы можем отдать обратно, я даже не знаю, почему я задал этот вопрос. Пастор посмотрел на меня.
he said, you don't have anything to give.
И он сказал, у тебя нет ничего, чтобы отдать другим.
He says, problem here is, you don't have anything.
Видишь, проблема в том, что у тебя просто нет ничего, что ты можешь
I never
дать.
forgot that.
И я никогда не забуду этого.
It was honest. He told me, you don't have anything to give.
Человек был честен
Today,
передо мной. Он сказал,
for our volunteers
у меня нет
full-time
ничего, чем я могу
at a
поделиться.
single mom's outreach, very, very
Занимается
in the United
благотворительностью, она
States,
помогает в обществе
single
одиноких
moms.
матерей.
with kids.
Она
We have a
занимается
lot
с
of
детьми.
things that we give to, that we
И
support.
сегодня мы можем себе
Because of
позволить
For
помогать
Life
многим
today, I
людям.
have something to give.
То
I
решение,
wanna thank you all.
которое я когда-то принял,
I hope I was able to share something with you
поэтому я
today.
могу сегодня помогать другим.
Anything below platinum,
Все, что находится
It's too
ниже
low.
платины,
you've already
это
worked.
слишком мало для вас.
The button.